Hello, good evening, everybody watching this YouTube Live. My name's Caroline Fairweather. I'm a founding member at GhostLit Repertory Theatre Company, located here in the Berkshires. I want to thank you for tuning in to our second Zoom live stream play reading. Our previous reading, The Maids by Jean Genet, is linked in the GhostLit YouTube channel page, so you can go back and watch that. And you can also still donate to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS with the link in that chat box. Tonight we'll be reading a play called Lear by Young Jean Lee. This cast is made up of my fellow Williams students, as well as local theater people that I know and worked with, including Ali Bourzgui, also a founding member of GhostLit Rep. So tonight's reading is a fundraiser also. This reading will be a fundraiser for an organization called Save the Children. They're a charity that started in the UK, but right now they are serving vulnerable regions in the US as well. They're offering equipment and medical training to areas most affected by COVID-19. So there's a link in the chat box. And no amount is too small, so donate if you can. There's a content warning for this show. There's some inappropriate language, so children under 12, we don't recommend that they watch. And this show runs about an hour and 15 minutes. Since we're doing this on Zoom, we recommend that you close your other browser tabs so that you can get the best experience watching this live as you can. There also might be some trouble on our end. If that happens, we'll all just turn off our videos and get back to you as soon as we're able. There also will be information in the chat if something goes wrong as well. So without further ado, this is Lear by Young Jean Lee. I'll start with the author's note. A partial and approximately accurate synopsis of Shakespeare's King Lear. King Lear was an old man who ruled England for many years. He had 3 grown daughters named Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. One day, Lear decided to retire from the burdens of ruling. He intended to divide his kingdom among all of his daughters until he began to suspect that his youngest daughter, Cordelia, did not love him. Enraged, he disinherited her and sentenced her to banishment. At the time, 2 kings, France and Burgundy, were in Lear's court vying for Cordelia's hand. Lear tried to humiliate his daughter by presenting her to them, banished and without a dowry. France chose to marry her anyway and took her to France. In her absence, Regan and Goneril shared their father's lands between them. Soon they fell out with Lear. They barred him from his former castles, leaving him out in a storm where he began to go mad. Lear's closest advisor was another old man named Gloucester. Gloucester had 2 sons, Edgar and Edmund, a bastard. Gloucester tried to aid the old king behind Goneril and Regan's backs, but was exposed by Edmund. Goneril and Regan seized Gloucester, blinded him, Regan did the actual blinding, and sent him into the storm to join their father. Our show begins roughly at this point in the story. Nothing else that happens in Shakespeare's text is necessarily relevant to what you are about to hear. There's a Gothic arched proscenium with ornate bas-relief detail. There's also an elaborately patterned red and gold curtain with heavy gold fringe. An ominous, pulsating, rumbling sound plays. The curtain rises on Goneril and Regan in a throne room, doing a stately, measured Elizabethan court dance to consort music. They smile with real pleasure as they dance. Edgar and Edmund enter and join the dance, creating more intricate patterns. Everyone smiles and dances with real pleasure. The dance ends with all 4 dancers holding hands with their bodies facing outward, skipping in a circle. As the music ends, they break the circle to assume their positions for the following scene. Lights up. Faint consort music. Goneril reads a book, Regan does needlepoint, and Edgar polishes his sword. Edmund is deep in tortured thought.
Edmund and I just enjoyed the most wonderful meal.
What did you have?
6 different roasted meats and fowls, new potatoes, spring sausage, onion soup, and gooseberry tart with country cream.
Lovely.
The soup was covered by nearly an inch of baked cheese.
Goodness, Edgar. How did you?
I'm a bad person.
Why?
I only care about myself.
Everyone is selfish.
I betrayed my father. He's out in the storm with his eyes gouged out.
Our father was a traitor.
Plus, everyone's starting to look fat to me.
What do you mean?
Everyone looks fat. Regan looks fat. You look fat. Unless someone is completely skeletal with no muscle or anything, I think they look fat.
That's really evil.
I know.
But you're not a bad person.
Then who is?
Torturers working in a torture center.
But what would I do if I was in that position? I want to win, to fit the pattern. Would I have taken babies by their legs and smashed them against trees? I don't know. If the torture center is getting too full and your superiors tell you to kill people off in a less expensive way, people always manage to justify doing horrible things.
What is wrong with you today, Edmund?
Nothing. I suck.
But you have the raw material to become something great. If only you could see your own value as I do, buried beneath your excess weight.
Everything sucks.
The world is full of things, and you just fight them off. Because what are you gonna do? Nothing. So you have to accept them.
But the pain.
I have to say that I believe the true answer lies in Buddhism.
Buddhism is great.
I really like Buddhism and all the psychology that comes with it, that influence.
What do you mean by Buddhism?
You know, you just accept everything. If something bad happens, then you just accept it.
When a thought comes into your head, you just label it thinking, and it helps.
And also, another thing about Buddhism is that, I don't know, I just like it.
I'm losing my hair.
How awful.
How can people stand to be bald?
I don't know. I think most people think they look pretty good. I don't think they would leave the house otherwise.
I think most people have that body-face dysmorphia, only in the opposite direction. Like, they think they look better than they do.
People's bodies are just tragic.
Maybe someday modern technology will be able to cure that,
Yeah, how do old people, how can they even bear to touch each other?
Someday, modern technology is going to advance to the point where it really helps us out a lot.
Do you ever play that game where it's called Who Won? And you're looking at couples on the street and you ask yourself, who won?
That game doesn't work unless you know what the guy does for a living.
People have such mean personalities.
Yeah, someone who's, and you know what pisses me off?
What?
Why can't women be more feminine?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's like they go around wearing frumpy underwear and how do they expect anyone to stay attracted to them?
You know what I love?
What?
Garter belts.
Holy shit, that is like the hottest thing ever. But women never do that shit. It's like, why can't the women I'm with be more feminine?
You know what's annoying to me?
What?
How fat guys get.
Women get fat too.
It's like a prerequisite for all of you to get a gut.
It makes you look pregnant. How disgusting.
Also, do you know how pathetic your careers look to us? We pretend to admire you, but actually a lot of times we feel sorry for you.
Well, men act devoted because they know you expect it, when actually they don't think you're that hot, and they get obsessed with other women all the time.
And we tell our friends about it too.
Blackout. Edgar and Edmund exit. Lights up. Soft rumbling.
I'm a bad person.
I'm the one who did it.
That's true.
I'm the one who did the bad thing to the old man with the gouging of the eyes and so forth. Like him bleed into the snow.
There was no snow.
There can be snow if I say so.
Okay.
I say there was a lot of snow and that his eyes bled rings into the ground, burrowing down.
Stop it, Regan.
I can see our father.
Don't say that.
I can see him in the storm, bleeding rings into the ground.
That's Edgar and Edmund's father.
Our father is out there too.
Shut up.
I can see the coffin coming. Funerals are good.
Sometimes I feel sad at them, but then other times I feel like, look at all the fashion.
I can see his eyes splitting rings into the ground.
That's not our father, that's the other one.
I know, but we did it.
You did it.
You would have done it.
No, I wouldn't. It's not my style.
All right.
It's your style. There's no shame in that. Like Satan.
Satan was an asshole because he was afraid, not because he was selfish. Those are mutually exclusive things.
Spotlight on Goneril, standing.
I am a woman, and my name is Goneril, and oh, how I long to be good to you. That is all I wish, is to be good to the people around me, to make them feel whole and important so that they will dance to my bidding and bend to my will. This is how I operate. Not by cruelty and power, but by passivity and sickness. I am sick right now. My poor father is abandoned and in pain, and I feel his suffering as if it were my own. I shed tears upon his poor bald head, but what am I to do? My needs are essential. If I want to kick you to the curb, that is because my foot is possessed by the desire of kicking. I have no control over myself. I am a poor, weak-willed woman with no strength who wishes nothing more than to please you and make you feel good about yourself. I'm a lavish tipper. I will love you as you are serving me. I will make endless conversation with you and express interest in your work and home life and feel overwhelming pity for the hardship of your circumstances as you angle for a larger tip, and I will give you the tip of a lifetime. And you will experience 5 seconds of pleasure before the grinding everyday misery of your life gives way to the grinding everyday misery of heat and cold and intemperate climes. And I will step into the sweltering ballroom in my finery and dance with the skill acquired after years of fighting my natural instincts to be lumbering and grotesque. I am a champion over everything. This is a power that only women know. The power in weakness, the power in ugliness and clumsiness, and the hiding of our true natures in deception, but actually that's not true at all. You can read everything in our faces. You don't need me to tell you a word.
Blackout. Lights up. Soft rumbling.
Something is different with Cordelia's teeth.
She looks like she's been sharpening.
And she's come back with all the French fashions.
She looks better than ever, I have to say, although.
She's shiny, somehow.
Maybe she just needs to blot.
There's something... She seems confident.
She looks like an angel of death.
Sound of footsteps echoing down the hall. Cordelia enters, gorgeously arrayed. She smiles. There's something inexplicably terrifying about her.
Hi, Cordelia. What have you been doing all day?
Nothing.
It's nice to have you back home.
I'm happy about it.
How is France?
Lovely, thank you.
And how is France, your husband?
He is well.
Did you have some work done on your teeth?
No.
They look lovely. Very sharp.
Thank you.
Cordelia takes a step toward Goneril, who shrinks away.
So, what is France like?
Lots of blue, lots of gray, massive clocks embedded in the stone with the clouds drifting by. Lovely.
Lovely.
We were so sorry about how you left.
I'm sure you were.
We really were.
Dad was wrong to throw you out.
I accept that you thought you were sorry. I have learned acceptance.
How did you cope?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
The lights brighten around Cordelia.
I started to drink.
Goodness.
I drank and I forced myself upon animals.
Heavens.
I tried to molest my husband with a toothbrush.
Really?
And then the glorious Reformation. Now I don't drink a drop.
Wonderful.
Congratulations to you, Cordelia.
The lights go back to normal.
I have forgiven our king the father.
Good for you, dear sister.
Speaking of which, where is the old bastard?
Well,
That's the thing.
What's the thing? I wish to shower him with scalding flames of love.
he's not here.
Not here? Where is he?
In the storm.
Why?
We kicked him out.
You kicked him out?
Yes.
But why?
He wanted to go.
Why, then he must be dead.
Cordelia, how did you survive your banishment?
I told myself I was happy. I said it over and over until it became true. And now I'm the happiest girl alive.
Cordelia bares her teeth.
Lovely.
I told the world to be what it was, come what may, and I would transform shit into sugar blossoms.
Wow.
And I chose to love every greedy pustule of a human on this earth. That was really all there was to it.
Goneril stands suddenly.
Dad might still be alive.
She sits back down.
I want to know what he's doing.
He's in the rain. He's wet. He's cursing our cunts.
He's all alone.
Your guilt will protect you.
He's suffering so much.
That's life.
Then it'll happen to us.
In one form or another.
Horrible.
You have to embrace it.
I can't.
Then you'll suffer more.
I can feel it happening.
You're in your prime.
And then downhill.
It's already happening.
I'm going to feel what he feels.
Everyone dies.
Then why live? What is there?
Sometimes the weather has sun to warm, and shade to cover, and breeze to cool. And sometimes there are deer and fat possums, and sometimes, but not usually, there is cold chicken and ginger beer. And one time, there was a pie.
What kind of pie?
Mince pie.
Holy moly.
Please be happy in it. Rejoice in every little detail, the bits of music you can pick out from the distance, the boringness of boring things.
I am grateful for the gray street, the white dome, the gold statue against a blue sky.
Spotlight on Regan.
I wake up in the morning and I am alive. My eyes are open and I can see. You should write down a list of things that are important to you and work towards these things. But what if everything fills your gorge like a goose with the tubing and the grain forced down the throat into the stomach to fatten the liver with delights for those who know what they want? They want that delectation on crusty bread, with a simple wine and company, except for the man dining alone, the man in the soft sweater and tasteful jacket who's eating soup and talking animatedly to himself, the gray-haired man with the kindly face, enjoying a crammed liver and witty conversation all alone. Some things are unspeakable. What does his heart look like? If I held him, he would struggle like a puppy, with the crushed paw, mammal softness squeezed to death. I would comfort you, old man. Hold still and be silent. This is my love that I am offering to you as something acceptable in the world. Please don't cry out as I attempt to love you. I apologize for interrupting your meal, but I can't bear the pleasure in your laugh and must put out the light in your smiling face. It is not permissible for you to enjoy yourself in this way. Hold your head still as I remove first one and then the other, gently with my tongue, prodding your sockets, the light to remove, to cease what must be ceased for the moment and not a second too late. I have decided that misery is unacceptable. We are two of a kind. Only I suffer the pains that you avoid through being undesirable. Lie down and be still, and await the fate that is awaiting you.
Back to regular light, soft rumbling.
When is the last time you slept?
When is the last time you slept?
Edgar and Edmund enter. They bow.
Hello, Edgar and Edmund.
Hello.
Edmund and I were just out for a walk, actually. We were not out for a walk. We were talking in a dank, unlit closet because we were discussing men's affairs.
All right.
I remember Edgar in his short pants.
I was a little soldier, and Edmund was my executive officer.
Your mother would curl your hair.
My hair was naturally curly.
I saw her put your hair up in papers myself.
I fought against her. I kicked her in the crotch.
No, that happened when she said you were too old for curling papers.
There were so many things to be upset about that we didn't notice.
We all went to the seaside.
We climbed over the railings and dropped in the water.
The air smelled like sugar.
There were bright colors and freaks of nature, and oh, my heart, my heart, my heart.
What about it?
It makes my heart. There are things trying to intrude.
Goneril runs out.
What's wrong with Goneril?
Her face has aged so much. She used to be the hottest one out of all of you.
Edgar,
Yes?
I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
Why?
You're always saying shitty things.
Edgar bows before Regan.
I'm sorry if I offended you, Regan. That was not my intention.
I don't care about your intentions.
Are you serious?
When something hurts me, I cut it out.
Regan exits.
At the rate she's going, pretty soon there won't be anyone left.
Blackout. Lights up. Cordelia is on the stage right bench with Edmund standing near her.
Cordelia, I love you.
What kind?
Romantic.
I only want the spiritual kind that would love me the same, with limbs or as a stump.
There is no such love.
I have felt such a love. That is the love I feel for you in this moment.
And no more, Cordelia?
No,
Why not?
you would never survive it. Why don't you run away?
I will never run away. Intensity is my master, and it shall direct me in the ways in which I wish to be directed. And the rain shall fall and pierce my tongue as I drip blood upon the land. I shall be whole and free, and my spirits will soar at my bidding. My legs will skip to my bidding. My mouth shall laugh at my bidding, and the rain will fall and fall upon my head, and lightning will strike my eyes, and I shall suffocate inside mine own face. This is what the Lord has taught me, and this is the lesson I shall take to my grave.
Okay, I will have you.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
That's not fair. I have unique qualities.
Such as
My sense of perspective.
gross.
I'm not as safe as I seem.
How so?
First of all, my true love is Goneril,
Really?
but she will not have me.
Huh.
I would cherish you for as long as we dwelt in the same house as her.
It's a tempting offer.
Cordelia, I vow and swear that I will always give you something to hope for. Have you always worn your hair like that?
I think so. Why?
It looks different.
In a bad way?
No.
You must hate me.
Yes, but it's not personal. I only hate you insofar as your imperfections contrast with her glories.
So much shall your sufferings increase once I turn the tables.
That suffering is sweeter to me than any cunt.
My cunt shall.
Enough of this, Cordelia. I love you, and only you. You love me too.
I suppose.
Say it, Cordelia, or I shall pluck out my manhood before your very eyes.
I love you and only you. I love you so much that I don't even feel it as love.
Why in heaven's name will you not be mine?
I am Cordelia, and I am good. And there are fine candy-spun things sweetening my dreams. I will cry into your ear and give you something to be sorry about. I will show how many pastries it takes to suffocate a baby calf. And your diaphragm will be safe from me. I will not remove it in soft handfuls. I will not extract your tongue with my teeth. Soon you will understand the sweetness of crying. of ears and sorriness and pastries and calves and diaphragms and tongues, each one as soothing as the last. And this is none of this. As damning as it sounds, you will enjoy it. You dread and fear it because you know not what it is, but once you feel the softness, you will sing through your gags and stuffings, and that disposable face of yours will be ours, because you were made to be ours. You were made for health and kindness, because what is there to love other than healing, other than breath and strength and heart and life and feedings? There will be many more feedings than this in your future, I assure you. I will love your face and ears and eyes and voice until you are crying in fear and desolation. I guarantee that you will be weeping, but for what? Why not rejoice? I will wipe your bloody rings and make them full of pastry. You will be stuffed until there is nothing left of you but crashing waves and bloody bowels and mucus overflowing an empty stomach.
Cordelia leans in to kiss Edmund, who recoils and turns away. Blackout. A spotlight on Edgar.
What is it like to be a singer? You stand up there and the charisma is all over you and your voice is soaring and everyone is blown away. I remember when I was in school, there was one day when I showed up and half the class was missing from the flu. All the athletes were gone, the teacher was out sick, and the substitute had gone to the wrong place, so we were sitting there together, all the girls and us nerdy boys. And I suddenly became the leader. I have no idea how it happened. I organized everyone into groups and gave them fun projects, and everyone was excited and listening to me, and I was going around praising people's work. It was great. And the next time I went to school, I thought maybe something would be changed towards me. But the popular kids were back, and everyone had forgotten it had ever happened. In my whole life, from beginning to end, that was my one day of glory. What must it be like for people who have every day like that? The funny thing is, I actually have a good singing voice. It's not consistent, and I have a small vocal range, but if something were exactly in my range and I practice it, I think I could move people.
Back to regular light, soft rumbling.
I want revenge.
For what?
What they did to Dad.
What are you talking about? You're the one who gave him away.
You wanted it too.
I accepted it.
You want to go eat?
No, thanks.
Wow, really?
I can't swallow.
When's the last time you slept?
I don't remember.
Hey, look at this.
Edmund demonstrates a sword thrust.
Don't you even want to know what happened when I went out looking for him?
Nope.
Why not?
You're gonna blame me?
I promised you 1,000,000 times I wouldn't.
Even if you don't blame me with your mouth, you'll blame me with your face.
I won't.
Fine. What happened?
I was in the storm looking for Dad. And at first I had negative thoughts, but I just kept praying and soul searching until I became almost euphoric with peace.
You're blaming me with your eyes.
The rain was beating on me and lightning was toppling the trees. But I am a fundamentally kind person, somehow. Although actually I am not. I kick beggars. I do that one cruel thing. I wear extremely expensive and heavy boots, and I kick beggars every chance I get. I kick them as hard as I can. No, just kidding. I've never kicked a beggar in my life, and my boots are neither heavy nor expensive because I am an impecunious skinflint.
What are you talking about?
If I hadn't gone out in that storm, I was out there for like a week, searching. I couldn't have stayed less with any decency. I wasted all that time, but it wasn't a waste because I found Dad. He wanted a cliff so he could kill himself. But I got him to jump on flat ground and fall on his face, and he learned a lesson, and I came back here. No. He died first, and then I came back here. He died.
He died?
Yes. I told him I am Edgar, and his heart broke, and he died.
Why'd you do that?
I wanted him to recognize me. If I hadn't gone out into that stupid storm, I'd have so much time right now.
Our father is dead.
Nobody knows what I go through. They say Edgar is so reliable. No, they don't even say I'm reliable. They just expect me to show up and do the right thing every time without any credit, except for when I fuck up, and then I'm not reliable. Edgar must go to the ball. Edgar must be in the storm. Edgar must know the meaning of life. I'm sick of it.
Nobody made you do anything. What's wrong with you?
Nothing.
Where did you go?
I was in the storm, on a tramp steamer, smoking corncob pipes, etc. What do you care where I was?
You never found our father.
Yes, I did.
Is he dead or isn't he?
What did I say, bastard?
Don't call me bastard.
Well, I'm not calling you bastard. I'm talking to that wall over there. I named that wall Bastard. Hey, bastard. You're looking pretty stupid today.
You're looking right at me.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at the wall. Hey, bastard. Why don't you come lay your balls on my face?
What?
Come inside my womb, boy.
You don't have a womb.
The man is the ultimate womb of the universe. I've got wombs like you've never seen.
Get away from me.
Come with your tits into my face.
Edgar nuzzles imaginary breasts on Edmund, who pushes him away.
Don't do this, Edgar. Come with your tits into my face.
Edmund lunges for Edgar's chest and tries to lick his nipple. Edgar jerks away, causing Edmund to fall to the floor.
Stop it, Edmund!
Edmund lunges with his head towards Edgar's crotch, and Edgar runs away.
Come with your dingle-dongle right into my face and fill me up like an eclair from France.
Edmund gets up and Edgar eyes him warily. Edmund lunges toward Edgar with his tongue out as if trying to make out with him. Edgar grabs Edmund by the throat and they grapple.
I would kill you in an instant if it were a choice between your life and my looks. You do not believe this is true, but it is absolutely true.
They grapple, switching positions so that Edmund has Edgar by the throat.
With the choice between your life and a pan full of acid thrown into my face, I would choose the pan of acid, because one's face is a horrible thing.
Blackout. In the dark, a loud, throbbing rumble shakes the risers. Light comes up slowly, isolating the throne, as Regan and Cordelia enter slowly in silhouette. As they turn their heads to face front, the lights come up fully. The loud throbbing cuts abruptly to a soft rumble.
My ceiling is leaking.
There are always horrible things. I have bed bugs.
I hear it dripping all night.
I have bed bugs. I would chop off my pinky finger without hesitation if it would guarantee that I would never have to see another bed bug again.
I don't know anything about bugs, and I don't want to know. I'll start feeling like I have them.
They are the worst.
Oh no, I have bed bugs.
You do not.
I have bed bugs. I have bed bugs.
Regan starts giggling weirdly.
It's an insult to tell a person who has actual bed bugs that you have imaginary ones.
Edmund bursts in with his sword out.
I know where you are vulnerable, and I will pierce you in your eye sockets for all the indignities of being a man, despite my sword, despite my power. I must not be petted like a cow. I must be fondled in sickness and then cast away in disgust. But I know things that have been settled for generations, and I have my rights and my means, and I am a man.
Regan bursts out laughing.
You must respect my automation.
Edmund runs out, humiliated, as Regan laughs hysterically.
When's the last time you ate?
This morning,
What did you eat?
some dates.
You look terrible.
I feel terrible.
Why?
Bad dreams.
About what?
About a filthy-faced woman who said that there'd been a rape. A rape, I asked? When? And she said, a few minutes ago, run. And just as she said the word run, another woman wearing a brown wig grabbed me and held me fast with weak fingers. She spoke of the things she would do to me, meditating on the pleasures. As she spoke, her wig would shift, and I could see her real hair underneath, which was short and gray and caked with dandruff. She mentioned that there was a dump out back. It would be a good place to serve you, she said. I knew my body would feel every imaginable horror. I stabbed a sharpened pencil into her hand, and there it stuck. She noticed it not. I said, I stabbed a pencil into your hand. And she said, you did? Did you? Well, I haven't slept in 3 days and I can't feel a thing. I screamed and struggled and then I woke up. I felt the relief that comes from finding your body safe in bed. And then I remembered that he is in the storm. It is happening to him. He is my father. It is happening to him and he it will happen to me. Nothing can stop it.
You're going to be just fine.
Oh, I am so lonely in this mind.
Lights up on Cordelia and Regan, with Goneril on her knees before them, panting and in distress.
Where have you been?
In the storm?
Did you find Dad?
No.
Then why did you come back here?
I couldn't remember how to live.
You're lucky we don't execute you.
I would slaughter you all. I did find something.
What did you find?
A thing?
What kind of thing?
Nothing can protect you from nothing. When everything falls away, there is what is there. For so long, something was protecting me, and that something turned out to be God, which turned out to be a curse, which is what I have. I am cursed with nothing, and would give up my life for some distraction, but there was no distraction left. I tried to embrace the nothingness, but there was nothing to embrace. Only pride in the act of embracing, and pride is the greatest nothing of all. How I longed to seek and find goodness, and how much goodness I found, but it was nothing as well. She held my hand, and I held nothing.
Goneril caresses Regan's face.
She wept tears of compassion on my poor old brow, and they turned to nothing, even as I wiped her sweet eyes and loved her as only a father can love.
Regan pushes Goneril's hand away. Goneril turns away and starts walking to the throne, panting oddly.
Help. I will pray and it will work once. And then I will pray again and it will not work a second time. This is how prayer works.
Goneril sits on the throne.
I am Lear.
Regan runs out.
Cordelia, I don't like it.
What?
This picking up lovers, moving in with them, dumping them. What is that?
What about Regan? She's the biggest slut.
What was wrong with France?
Goneril hits Cordelia's shoulder.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You must know.
I was in love with him, and then suddenly one day, he just grossed me out.
You can't break up with someone because of that.
Desperately wanting someone out of your life isn't a good reason to break up.
How do you think I like being married to a nut job like your mother for 50 years? You think that was a piece of cake?
Why didn't you leave her?
Because she was my wife and my responsibility, and a man doesn't leave his wife and children on the street.
How could you choose to live in misery?
It's not so bad. You kids think romance is everything. Romance is nothing.
Today, people actually value personal happiness.
Let's see how happy you are when you're dying alone.
Who says I'm dying alone?
You could have made it work with France.
France was cheating on me.
What man doesn't cheat on his wife? What the hell's the matter with you? How can you be so naive?
What is your point?
When you get to be my age, you realize that having children is the only thing that matters. If you wait too long, you'll have miscarriages. You don't want that kind of freakish life.
The lights go red. There's a loud, scary, bass-throbbing noise.
Fuck you. I hope your womb turns into testicles.
Back to normal light, soft rumbling.
Help someone, help!
Edgar and Edmund run in.
Here are France and Burgundy. Hey guys, there's no more money.
What?
You don't get money to marry that stupid banished cunt.
Regan wanders in slowly, smiling crazily.
And she has crabs and gonorrhea, which she got from fucking all the horses.
I did not.
She made all the horses fuck her in the ass, and then she sucked her poop off their dicks.
I didn't. She's making that up.
I don't want her if she comes without any money.
Edmund exit.
Well, I have plenty of money already, so I'll take her. Come with me, Cordelia.
Edgar tugs on Cordelia's arm. She doesn't budge.
I'm a dolphin.
What?
I'm a dolphin. Do you want to give me a fish? Here is my dolphin language.
You are not a dolphin.
I'm saying, hi, Goneril. Nice to meet you.
I am Lear.
Edgar cringes away, then abruptly turns on Cordelia.
Are you going to touch my orangutan?
What?
My orangutan. Because you can't touch my orangutan, because it's mine, and you can't touch it, and only the king can touch it, or I'll chop off your legs.
Don't worry, I won't touch it.
You better not. That's me warning you.
Edgar goes to the dice. Throughout the following exchange, he removes his ruff, cape, neck chain, and sword and dumps them by the side of the dice.
Nothing can protect you from nothing.
Regan runs to the throne and sits down.
You must replace and replace and replace and replace. I replace your face, Goneril. Regan, I replace you. There will be something about daughters turning their backs on their fathers, and they will not listen to me. Goneril, listen. Regan, listen.
Regan leaves the throne and joins Goneril and Cordelia.
I humbly apologize for daring to ask for a fraction of what used to be wholly mine before I gave it to you all.
I hope you two had fun torturing our father. He had no idea what cunts the two of you really are.
Oh, go fuck yourself, Cordelia.
Goneril returns to the throne and sits.
Yeah, whatever, fuckface. Why don't you go fuck a parrot?
You fuck a parrot, parrot fucker.
You fuck a parrot!
You fuck a parrot!
And when I look into a monkey's eyes, I can see the future. I can see dinosaurs and 4th of July fireworks, and I realize that we are all dependent upon each other in one gigantic ecosystem of natural intelligence. These are just a few of the humble thoughts I have. God bless the earth.
I taught them to love trees, and the love they feel for trees feeds their evil hearts.
They are not really happy. What they have is not true happiness.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Edmund enters with his sword held up.
If you come beside me, I will stand up for you and hold up my sword of righteousness. You need only to come with me, and you will find something far greater than all your parts. You will find a knock-kneed badger with antlers on.
The lights go red. A high-pitched tone plays. Goneril motions for Edmund to approach. He hands her his sword, which she holds above her head as if she's about to knight him. Regan pushes his head downwards as if guiding him to bow, and then shoves his head roughly down at Goneril's feet. Goneril stomps on him hard, and he screams in pain. Spotlight on Cordelia.
Green grass grows on the bottom of my yard, and I believe there was a bowl of roses on the table filled with violet water. And these were the types of details that people paid attention to because there was a time and space for it. Everyone had children and a family and a loaf of bread in the oven and fights and the cock blocking of the grandfather as he attempted to charm the nurses. And perhaps that was the way to show love, but I don't know. Sometimes I think the way to show love is to be loving. You just paint and paint and paint your face until your face goes away. And that makes me think about a few things, such as wondering whether we will ever become the kind of adults who drive a bus and go to school for community issues and trying to make things more cultural for the benefit of all humankind. I don't know. There's so many issues to ponder when I have a feeling that I am avoiding something I must not avoid. But of course, I will avoid it because I am above all things a coward and a cunt who fights and fights her fates during the temporary blinding that occurred when the lowlifes got hold of her head and pulled. Is my head ditch water.
Back to red light. Goneril stomps on Edmund again.
I was happy once, and my being wept with gratitude, for I was forsaken and lost, and somehow I managed to smile my ghoulish smile without all my teeth falling out, which is a blessing. One day, my teeth will be harvested like corn from its husk, and I shall remember the sweetness of being able to smile with teeth and show my humanity, the loathsomeness of my existence.
Stage lights and house lights suddenly bump on as if the show is over.
We enjoy watching horrible things. It gives us a feeling of immunity.
Samori removes his costume.
You're all so young. Even if you think you're old, you're not. Please enjoy this time. I beg you, please enjoy this time. You don't know where your path will lead or which is the right one. If you make a mistake, then you will arrive at the same place of unknowing in a few years. And if you make another mistake, then the same thing will happen again. And each year that passes in fruitlessness, you will decrease in value. And what if you never find the right path? It happens. Almost nobody's dreams actually come true. You have to learn acceptance. But that doesn't always come, you know? What are you doing with your life? Every minute, every second of the day, this is your one chance. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Is this really what you want to be doing with your life? Being here? Doing this? If not, then go. Run. Run away and do something better. I'm totally serious. Don't feel like you have to be polite. If there is something else you'd rather be doing with your life, then please, go with our blessing. I'm going to drop out of frame for a minute or two, and then I'll be back. Caroline, can you turn off my audio? Mute me. Any moment now it will come. The thing will happen that is the thing that crushes. It could be happening now. We could be sitting here and the worst could be occurring. We shut out other people's pain when we are not in pain ourselves. We wear an armor that is false, that is constructed of nothing, and when the lies shatter, we will face it. And we will survive by continuing on, by forgetting, by shutting out, but we will not forget. We will not have forgotten anything. Everything that happened will be contained somewhere inside us, feeding on us, waiting for the day when it can regain its rightful power.
Big Bird enters, bent over upside down and walking backward. He holds onto his ankles with his hands and talks through his legs to Gordon.
Oh, hi, Gordon.
Oh, hi, Big Bird.
Nice day, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice. Big Bird?
Hmm?
Why are you doing that?
What?
That?
Oh.
With your head between your legs.
Oh. Because.
Because why?
Just because.
You're standing with your head between your legs just because? Can't you give me a better reason than just because?
Well, I guess I could try, but I don't think I could come up with a better reason.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm going to do now?
What?
This.
Big Bird makes the following noise with an accompanying silly gesture that takes him off stage.
Dee-doo, 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 dee-doo.
Gordon watches Big Bird exit, shrugs, and imitates the noise and gesture, which takes him off stage.
Dee-doo, 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 dee-doo.
Melia, Alexa, and Taylor enter without their costumes.
The best part of King Lear is when Lear's daughter Cordelia dies, and Lear comes in and goes like this. Howl, 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 howl. Oh, you are men of stones. Had I your tongues and eyes, I'd use them so that heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. I know when one is dead, and when one lives, she's dead as earth. Lend me a looking glass, that if her breath will mist or stain the stone, why then she lives. This feather stirs. She lives. If it be so, it is a chance which does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt. A plague upon you, murderers, traitors, all. I might have saved her, now she's gone forever. Cordelia, Cordelia, stay a little. Huh? What is thou sayest? Her voice was ever soft, gentle, and low, an excellent thing in a woman. I killed the slave that was a-hanging thee. And my poor fool is hanged. No life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all? Thou come no more, never, 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 never. Pray you undo this button. Thank you, sir. Do you see this? Look on her. Look, her lips. Look there. Look there. And then he dies.
Wow.
That made me really sad.
Yeah. And it feels kind of good, too, you know?
Gordon enters. As he speaks, Maria and Olivia pull out side benches.
Look, I'm telling you she's a great candidate. She's saying she's against big spending, big business, and inflation. She says when she gets in the office, there'll be enough money for government, social programs, and a space program.
That sounds great. What's her name?
Alice in Wonderland.
They all laugh. Big Bird enters holding papers. Gordon, Susan, Maria, and Olivia sit on benches facing the audience. Big Bird stands in the middle between them.
Hey, it's time for your presents.
Presents?
Yeah, well, I just drew pictures of all my grown-up friends on Sesame Street, and I'm going to give them to you.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to be an artist when I grow up.
Great.
You're good, too.
Big Bird hands Susan her picture. We're going to pause for 1 sec due to technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, everybody, thanks for bearing with us. We're going to take it back just a few lines. Gordon enters. As he speaks, Maria and Olivia pull out side benches.
Hey, look, I'm telling you she's a great candidate. She says she's against big spending, big business, and inflation. She says when she gets in office, there'll be enough money for government, social programs, and a space program.
That sounds great. What's her name?
Alice in Wonderland.
They all laugh. Big Bird enters holding papers. Gordon, Susan, Maria, and Olivia sit on benches facing the audience. Big Bird stands in the middle between them.
Hey, it's time for your presents.
Presents?
Yeah, well, I just drew pictures of all my grown-up friends on Sesame Street, and I'm going to give them to you.
Oh, that's great.
I'm going to be an artist when I grow up.
Great.
You're good, too.
Big Bird hands Susan her picture.
Oh, that's gotta be me.
There's Susan.
Yeah, you're always smiling, Susan.
That's good. That's good.
Big Bird hands Olivia her picture.
Oh, hey, there I am. Hey, that's nice.
You like it, Olivia? I put musical notes because you're singing.
I see. Thank you, Big Bird.
Big Bird hands Maria her picture.
Oh, I know who that is.
Is that me? Oh, well, yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you, Big Bird. Thank you.
Big Bird hands Gordon his picture.
Hey, wait. Whoa.
That's you, Gordon.
A little young, don't you think?
And last but not least, ta-da!
Big Bird holds up a picture of an elderly bald man with glasses.
Oh, look at that one. That's nice.
Big Bird, that's so beautiful.
That's great.
That is really nice. Can I see it, Big Bird?
Gordon looks closely at the drawing.
That's terrific. It really looks like him.
It sure does.
Yeah, you captured him.
Wow, that's beautiful, Big Bird. Really nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well, I can't wait till he sees it. Say, where is he? I want to give it to him. I know. He's in the store.
Big Bird, he's not in there.
Oh, then where is he?
Big Bird, don't you remember we told you? Mr. Hooper died. He's dead.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Well, I'll give it to him when he comes back.
Big Bird, Mr. Hooper's not coming back.
Why not?
Susan goes to Big Bird and puts her arm around him. Okay, just so we can keep moving forward, I'm going to take over for Alexa. Unless, Alexa, you're good to go?
Yeah, should be.
Susan goes to Big Bird and puts her arm around him.
Big Bird, when people die, they don't come back.
Ever?
No, never.
Well, why not?
Well, Big Bird, they're dead. They can't come back.
Well, he's got to come back. Why? Who's going to take care of the store? And who's going to make my birdseed milkshakes and tell me stories?
Big Bird, I'm going to take care of the store. Mr. Hooper, he left it to me, and I'll make sure you get your milkshakes, and we'll all tell you stories and make sure that you're okay.
Yeah. We'll look after you.
Oh. Well, it won't be the same.
Gordon goes to Big Bird.
You're right, Big Bird. It'll never be the same around here without him. But you know something? We can all be very happy that we had the chance to be with him and to know him.
Yeah.
And to love him a lot when he was here.
Yeah.
And Big Bird, we still have our memories with him.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Our memories. Right. Why, memories, that's how I drew this picture, from memory.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah. And we can remember him and remember him and remember him as much as we want to.
He looks at the picture.
But I don't like it. It makes me sad.
We all feel sad, Big Bird.
He's never coming back?
Never.
Well, I don't understand. You know, everything was just fine. Why does it have to be this way? Give me one good reason.
Big Bird, it has to be this way because.
Just because?
Just because.
You know, I'm gonna miss you, Mr. Looper.
That's Hooper, Big Bird, Hooper.
You're right.
Everyone gathers around Big Bird and they all share a big silent hug. Everyone leaves the stage except Pete. The lights slowly fade until there's only a small, intense pool around him.
He is alive. I must remember that he is alive. He is alive, and I must remember, I must get to the thing that is the thing, and that thing is when he is gone, there will be no more. Nothing. Nobody loves you like your father does. There is no other father than the one you have, who was your dad all your life, who loved you. That is your dad. There is no other one. And my father is dying. And I don't know, I don't know. I must remember that he is still alive. I can still hear his voice. I can pick up the telephone anytime I want and hear his voice, and someday, pretty soon, I will not be able to do that. I must remember that he is still alive, and I can pick up the phone and we can talk, but there is nothing to talk about. I ask about his health, and he tells me, and sometimes it is bad news, and sometimes good, and then we don't know what to talk about anymore. 5 minutes. Every night, it is 5 to 7 minutes of my parents' voices on the phone, and that's it. I think my mother would like to talk for longer, but my dad always says, okay, and cuts it off so that it won't be a burden to me, which it is. I'm one of the fortunate ones because my mother prays for me. She prays for me incessantly with her friends, and I feel blessed. I felt blessed. I no longer do. God was a figment of my egotism, and now I can't stand to see him smile. I can't stand to see him struggle over fixing the stove to save money. And I helped him put this, there was this, it's an electric stove where you have to stick this faceplate on, and once you stick it on, it's permanent. So my father and I very nervously stuck it on, and then it didn't work. And the whole time I was praying, this was back when I still believed in God, please, Lord, let him fix it. Please let him fix it. Let it work. And it worked. And he was so happy. It's such a terrible thing to see him happy. I mean, I just prayed and it worked, but it didn't work because there is no God. There is no longer any God. I should send him a book or something. I don't know why I don't do more for him. I will regret this so much when he is gone. I will miss him so much, and all of this wasted time in which I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to spend time with him. I didn't even want to eat meals with him. And we would fight because they would be eating breakfast and I would just grab some cereal and go back downstairs, sometimes without even saying good morning. What manners? How did I become so rude, so selfish? When did I become this person who doesn't say good morning? And the same thing with lunch. They would be eating and just, I don't know how to love people. I never have. If I keep going down this road, nothing will ever truly make me happy. I must remember that I will never hear my father's voice again or see his face or be able to ask him any questions. I should go into the room where he's watching television and talk to him, but it is so hard to go in there. It's so hard to be around him. I can't even hug him. I can't even look at him. He's such a gifted man, a special man, and he has nobody to listen to him talk. And I will end up that way if I'm not careful. If I don't change, if I allow this egotism to consume me, everything that happens to his body will happen to mine. I mean, it's happening already. I look older. I've gotten used to lying half awake, in and out of nightmares, waking up unharmed but not safe. You think you are creating reality through the words you use and the stories you tell, but you're not creating realities. You have no idea what the fuck is going on. There are certain facts you can hang on to, but nothing else, really. I can't imagine what it will be like when he's dying. I will have to be there all the time. I will have to be perfect. When he's gone, that loss is going to be too much. You can't lose that much. You know, when he was in the 8th grade, he got recruited into a high school marching band to play the piccolo, and he was asked to perform in his show the same week. Usually the older students taught the younger ones how to play their instruments, but nobody knew how to play the piccolo, so nobody taught him. And yet he was supposed to perform. So he just marched, the smallest person in the band with the smallest instrument, and pretended to play the piccolo for a year. He would pick it up and pretend to play whenever the flutist picked up his flute. And he tried to teach himself at home how to play, but it was really hard. And he could never try playing aloud with the band because a piccolo made a shrilling sound that can be heard from miles away. And he never went to band practice because what was the point? And nobody ever said anything to him about it. He stayed on for a year because the band always got taken out for noodles after performances. But he finally quit after his friends made fun of him. They were like, "What is that tiny thing you're playing?"
Blackout. Graham Parsons' Big Mouth Blues begins to play. The following sequence should convey the sense of clips from old home movies cutting in and out. Strobe light on Pete laughing. Blackout. Pete on the floor, leaning against the bench and daydreaming. Blackout. Pete walking and smiling to himself. Blackout. Pete on the floor, ducking behind the bench excitedly as if in the middle of a snowball fight. Blackout. Pete standing and stretching contentedly. Blackout. Pete encouraging an imaginary toddler walking toward him. Blackout. Pete watching eagerly for a loved one's arrival. He catches sight of the person and waves excitedly. Blackout. Pete in the middle of the stage. The other actors sit on the benches, facing Pete with their backs to us, as if they are an extension of the audience.
I'll miss you. 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 I'll miss you.
Blackout. End of play.